From LALATE News Headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning with breaking news across the board. The toast is toast and the butter is buttering, and the $1,400 third stimulus checks continue to arrive. Meantime, that fourth stimulus check, that monthly stimulus check, that could be the biggest payout you've ever seen in the history of this channel, is getting to the finish line because not one, but four major events are happening this week. And we have confirmation of the major fourth one that's happening on Wednesday. Meantime, minutes ago, breaking developing news across other boards as the president's set to relax mask mandates in public. You will not have to wear a mask in the public arena starting in just 24 hours from now. We'll have those breaking details as well. And meantime, what's going on with student loan debt forgiveness? And what's happening in about 7 minutes from now from EIDL. Yes, something's happening at SBA in the next 7 minutes. I have all the incredible breaking news. Meantime, what's going on with mortgage forbearance and the remainder of that third stimulus money handing out to the cities, states, and counties. I have all those developing details. The toast is toasting, the butter is butter, and I'm here, you're here, and let's get to it. This is Mornings LALATE. It's a beautiful Monday morning here in Los Angeles, and I hope you are good and safe. We are live direct from you in Los Angeles, and I hope you're having a wonderful Monday, and I hope you had a great weekend. In this update, I'm going to go over that monthly stimulus check under the fourth stimulus package that would pay you a monthly check starting in the month of July for several months. The biggest payout you've ever seen in this channel, upwards of $8,000 to $12,000 per person. I'll also be going over the incredible great news about SSI reform that's coming in September that would raise your benefits lifetime and give you a new benchmark and give you incredible change of life. That SSI reform is in September and it's coming up in this recording. Also, the breaking news about what's happening in about 6 minutes from now from SBA. Yes, just literally within the minute. And also what happened from the White House about that mask mandate change. Also, I'll be going over student loan debt forgiveness and the remainder of that third stimulus checks as well. How are you? Let's get to it. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. And if you've not become a member, please do. Where away we go. Today is day one of our second year of this channel. What exciting news. Let's get to it. First, I can exclusively report, you're only hearing from this channel, that another wave of third stimulus checks of $1,400 will be landing by direct deposit on Wednesday for Direct Express card by Comerica and all the other major banks. That third wave did go out that latest wave, I'm sorry, not third wave, but that latest wave of the third stimulus check did go out on Friday. I had confirmations, and if you've not checked the IRS tool, check it because it may now show your direct deposit pending. Also, mail checks are still on the way. Then let's go to the big exciting news about fourth stimulus. Fourth stimulus is the single biggest payout you will ever see in this channel, and it's happening. It's happening because 1, 2, 3, 4 major events happened last week are happening this week, and now we have more confirmations about the fourth one. What are they? First, no bipartisan support. Number 2, that the economic factors, unemployment and corporate numbers, earnings reports, did not show a rebounding economy that was going to fully rebound by July, rather fully rebound by December. Number 3, that the Federal Reserve is not going to change its monetary policy. And number 4, that long-term unemployment and long-term job numbers remain the same. All right, let's get to the last two numbers first. Long-term job unemployment numbers remain at 8 million jobs missing and 8 million jobs missing and 16 million Americans still unemployed. Those numbers are likely to not be restored by July, so that signals we're getting for stimulus. Also, what's happening with the Federal Reserve? Confirmation today of my reporting from last weekend that the Federal Reserve will not tighten monetary policy and continues to support the economy. That signals that stimulus checks will be happening. All right, let's go over the details of how much those checks are before we go over those other two factors. First, how many checks and when would they happen and what are the details? Let's go over the great news. First, the House members will give you a stimulus check every month for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. The senators would give you stimulus checks from now to December. Who are the movers and shakers? The House members are progressives. The senators are the core of the Democratic Party. Those senators are individuals who have a lot of other legislative agendas they want to add, and they're likely to add those other legislative items to the forced stimulus package. I'll be going over what they are in just a second. The House members would pay $2,000 the first month and $1,000 thereafter. The senators, the amount unknown, but word on the street is it's this. Word on the street is this is the payment you would see under the forced stimulus package. Either $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000, or $1,400 a month over 6 months, $8,400. People have asked a series of questions. First, who gets this? Who's eligible? Who qualifies for it? When do we get it? And how do we get it? Let me go over all those details starting right now. First, who gets this? Everyone who got a third stimulus check would get the fourth stimulus check. Easy breezy. Single individual, $75,000 or less income, it's you. Married couple, $150,000 or less, it's you. Just double the check amounts. Household of 4 or less, it's you. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, rural benefits, it's you. Very simple. It's not income. It does not count towards a taxable event and does not disqualify you from benefits. Then the amount. Boy, I have now seen a series of other places across broadcast news, across print media, and certainly across YouTube channels where they have the word $2,000 in the thumbnail and $2,000 in the title. There is absolutely no confirmation about the monthly amount. So that is false reporting. There is no confirmed amount of $2,000. Word on the street is it would be $1,400 or $2,000 if the senators get their way, but the House members want $1,000 a month over 18 months. Next, the incredible, interesting, and fascinating news. When, how often, and how would we get it? First, what month? July. When is the vote? July. When is the date in July? The 4th of July, says Speaker Pelosi and Leader Schumer. When is the first month that we get a stimulus check? July. What would that check be for? The month of July. And when would be the next one? In August. Every month thereafter. Would we get it by direct deposit? I don't think so. My speculation is that it's going to come by a debit card because that's what Harris and Sanders wanted last year. It's the cheapest way. They send you a debit card and they replenish it every month thereafter. Incredible, great news. Now, what were the other two major factors that unfolded over the weekend or continue to unfold today that signals that we're getting this forced stimulus? First, a lack of bipartisan support. And number two, the economic factors at issue. First, the lack of bipartisan support. A series of new reports today continue to detail that Republicans will never support this proposal. 3 weeks ago, when they first heard it, they said no $2 trillion, no climate, and we'll give you $600, $800 billion for infrastructure. The president said no. So over 3 weeks of negotiations, they came back, the Republicans, and put in writing actually a worse offer, a lower offer. No $2 trillion, no climate, and now only $500 billion. To which the president understands categorically, emphatically, despite all public appearances to the contrary, he is going by reconciliation. There is zero Republican support for what he has proposed, and there may not be even Republican support if he drags it out any longer. So he has to start reconciliation. How does the reconciliation process start and end? It's a 2-month process. You want to start it in May, get it done in July, out go the checks. What is the package? It's called the Infrastructure Package or the American Job Plan or the Recovery Act. The president doesn't write the bill. The president doesn't detail the provisions. The president tasks the House to write the bill, to which they will put in the stimulus checks, or the senators during the 2-day event called the Votorama. More about this exciting news later in this broadcast, but boy, very exciting news about student loan debt forgiveness as it heated up over the weekend. Suddenly, broadcast news saw my reporting, hitting it very hard day after day for nearly 2 weeks. And now they're picking up the story. What is the story? Miguel Cardona, your education secretary, has failed to produce the memo ordered to him to be produced by the President of the United States. Cardona was tasked to prepare a memo that says whether a president can forgive student loan debt forgiveness by executive order. He can. Obama did it. Trump did it. The president can forgive student loan debt forgiveness by executive order. The issue is $50,000 of it. And now we have two great news events about that. First, broadcast media is picking up my coverage and saying, where's the letter? It's not a few days late. It's now heading to 2 weeks late. Number two, incredible great news as a new report has now detailed that when asked and surveyed about student loan debt forgiveness of $50,000, over 50% of those congressional leaders who responded to the survey said yes, they support it. The 50% who said they do not support $50,000 said they support a smaller amount, but still support it. Incredible great news. Coming up in the second half of this recording, I'll be going over the big, huge, wonderful news about SSI reform that's going to raise your benefits, raise your annual cap, raise everything, and so that you get more money in your pocket. And when will that happen? I have all that coming up in the second half of this recording. But meantime, let's look at the clock. It's currently 9:02 here in Los Angeles. And guess what has just happened? What has just happened? 2 minutes ago, the SBA shuttered venue grant opened. At 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, the shuttered venue grant from SBA just opened up. Congratulations to those who are prepared to apply. It is now open. Remember how we talked about on this channel. Purple Hawks, you got to pounce. Hawk, hawk. And now is the time to pounce. The shuttered venue grant is not just for venues, so go to sba.gov to learn more about it. Meantime, for those that have waited for the remainder $10,000 EIDL grant, that's going out by invitation. And that those that responded have gotten it paid. Those that responded in February are stuck a little bit in a vortex at the moment. SBA knows about that vortex. The PPP grant has now been extended. The $5,000 EIDL grant has not gone live, and there is no grant to start a new business. Meantime, the money for rent, utilities, food, and internet that was supposed to land, also mortgage assistance and homeowners assistance, that was supposed to land from third stimulus has been delayed. In fact, the second stimulus one has been delayed as well. But incredible great news that is coming in May. All that money is coming in May. Meantime, what else is happening today and this week that could signal how quickly we need stimulus? That item that's at issue is corporate earnings. This is a huge week for corporate earnings, and those corporate earnings will signal if we're recovering at a faster rate of recovery than anticipated or at the same rate of recovery. Moreover, those corporate earnings hit day after day after day this week. Reporting earnings today is among the other heavyweights is Tesla. Tesla's reporting corporate earnings after the bell today. And projected EPS is 75 cents, projected revenue $10.48 billion, $10.5 billion. Jim Cramer says, I like Tesla at these levels, but I'm betting the quarter will be a good one. Also reporting tomorrow is a huge set of FANG stocks. Alphabet, Microsoft, Starbucks are those out reporting tomorrow. As of Alphabet, Cramer says, we got to focus on Google Cloud. I think it steals the show. For Microsoft, he says, I think they're going to do a good job. I think they're going to beat numbers. And then for Starbucks, he says, I'm looking for a pullback. Oh, no. Oh, no. He doesn't say that's going to be a good one tomorrow, Starbucks. Well, what is interesting and happening minutes ago this morning is that tomorrow, Tuesday, the lifting of a federal mandate for masks in public will be announced. For several days, leading doctors from Dr. Fauci to Dr. Scott Gottlieb have said, why are we wearing masks in public if we're vaccinated? Doesn't particularly make sense if you're vaccinated. What's the risk of contracting COVID in public? Well, the president's set to make a major change of his mask mandate Tuesday, lifting the federal guidelines for wearing a mask in public. There's inside report that suggests maybe there'll be different guidelines if you're vaccinated or not vaccinated. There's also a surprising new report today that says there's a great number of people who have failed to show up for their second appointment for vaccination. Elsewhere, in some states, like here in Southern California, there was reports that vaccination sites have had to close due to lack of demand, that the vaccination rate may not improve any further than it is because some people have not been showing up. But what is that big exciting news for SSI reform? How much money will you get? When will you get it? And what are the details? I have all that coming up for you. It's right after this commercial break. Stay with me. I'll be back in 90 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on LALATE with more coverage across the board. The coverage continues later today with incredible details every 2 hours. I hope you join me. There's a lot of exciting news coming up all throughout the day. That exciting news starts in 2 hours from now, as mornings LALATE kicks into high gear. Noon is 2 hours after that, and then we go into afternoons LALATE at 4 p.m. Easy breezy schedule to follow, a new show every 2 hours. After that, we continue into our late night schedule programming, and those shows are waiting for you to join in, interact, and live chat with me as well. Those shows start at 6 p.m. with afternoon's second show, then evenings LALATE at 8 p.m., and then we go into LA Late Night every night at 10 p.m. with Sirloin and Javita Late. How are you? It's a big morning. The toast is toast and the butter is butter, and I'm here, you're here. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. We're approaching the start. Well, no, we have now started our second year of this channel. So make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. The link's at the top of the chat and the pinned comment. And boy, you want those PDFs because there's a lot of new PDFs across the board. I'll be updating them later today as well. How are you? Let's get to the shocking great details about SSI reform. Oh boy, this is really exciting. You and I have been waiting anxiously for SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and Railroad Benefits reform. We have been talking about it since last year, during the campaign trail, during the transition papers, during second stimulus and third stimulus, and here it is. An incredible letter that now details what they're going to put in, who is they, the Democrats, the senators, into the fifth stimulus package. That fifth stimulus package will slide in SSI reform on top of what the president's going to add. Fifth stimulus has a $1 trillion price tag, and what is the provisions? Let me broadly go over them, and then I'll do the specifics. Increasing your benefits, increasing the asset limits, adding an inflationary benchmark, removing the income exclusion, and removing the marriage penalty. All right, let's go over all the details. You know how we do it on this channel. I make it easy breezy so everyone can understand basic numbers and basic applications. All right, how are they going to do this? First, who is you? SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, veterans, all of you. If you have multiple benefits, then all of your benefits. Okay, so what are they going to do? They're going to take your monthly benefits and raise them up to a big, new, beautiful number. That will be your new number. You'll never see the current number you're paid at on a monthly basis ever again. This new number will be your new number. Everyone will have a slightly different number, so I don't know your specific number, but everyone's benefits will be raised up. Number two, you'll have a new benchmark, and this is very exciting. Your benchmark determines how much your annual benefits are. You go out and buy some milk or eggs or gas, and you know it's going to cost more money. Well, guess what? Your benefits haven't been going up because you're tied to a benchmark that doesn't move. It's called COLA, C-O-L-A. They're going to get rid of it. And what are they going to use in replacement? Inflation. Inflation, which is exactly the number that tracks your milk, your eggs, and your gas. Here's the great news, is that everyone knows that inflation always goes up 1 to 4% every year. And inside reports now suggest, and I'm confirming, that it's about 2 to 3% inflationary numbers over the next 2 years. So your benefits will always go up year after year. They'll never go down. Third, they're going to remove the asset cap. The asset cap was set at $3,000 based upon a 1984 legislation. They're getting rid of that. Absolutely. And then the real exciting one is if you want to work, they're getting rid of the income cap. The income cap puts a ceiling on how much money you can make per month. They're going to throw that law from 1962 away into the garbage. And they're going to start allowing you to work, if you want to, you don't have to, $2,000 a month approximately. They haven't decided on the exact number, and you can keep that $12,000, $24,000 a year. Finally, if you know what the marriage penalty is, you certainly know that it's a penalty, and they're getting rid of it. Incredible great news. Incredible great news. Now, what you need to know is that this is in the fifth stimulus. What is the fifth stimulus? The fifth stimulus is the stimulus package that starts in September. What is it also called? It's also called the American Family Plan, the AFP. What's the plan the president's announcing on Wednesday to the American people? Is that the fourth stimulus, the one for the checks this summer? Nope. That's the fifth stimulus, the one for September. Will the president put the SSI reform in there? No, the Democrats will put the SSI reform in there. When will they get it done and call for a vote? It will have to go by recon because, again, he's trying to spend money and the Republicans won't allow it. So it'll take 2 months, and that will be done by about October, November. When will you physically see the benefits impact your account? Likely around November of this year and then going forward. Incredible great news. Incredible great news. What you need to know is that the topics that I'm covering in this video, nothing replaces or is either or. Everything is and. So stimulus checks this summer, multiple stimulus checks, yes. And SSI reform, yes. And an EIDL grant if you have it, yes. How about children getting checks in the month of July, $3,600? Yes, that and too. So everything is an and nothing is an or. You don't have to choose one or the other. You're getting all that. It's a big smorgasbord of stimulus. All right, let's cut to the other big developing details. This week, Elizabeth Warren is set to have a Senate committee hearing about the wealth tax. The wealth tax is her provision to tax billionaires and trillionaires. And with that wealth tax, it's a provision she introduced while campaigning for president. It's a bill she introduced as a senator in January. And it's a bill she would use to fund SSI and SSDI, Social Security and Railroad benefits, $200 a month. Then the confusion and the nomenclature of what's happened on Wednesday, let me break that down easy breezy for you. On Wednesday, the president will address the American people about the fifth stimulus package for September, and he will talk about taxes. Here's what you need to know where we are on the universe of the tax discussion so far. The fourth stimulus now being worked on now to a vote in July. It is still unclear which taxes he's going to touch in there. We have indication it may include the corporate tax and may include the inheritance tax. The fifth stimulus in September, it is unclear which taxes he's going to touch in that either. There's talk that he'll touch the capital gains tax and touch the personal tax. What is the difference between all these different taxes? First, Personal tax is the tax return you file personally. The corporate tax is the corporate tax return you may file if you have an LLC or corporation. The capital gains tax is the tax that you pay when you make a gain on something you buy and sell. You buy a car and you resell it, you pay capital gains. You buy a house and you resell it, capital gains tax. You buy a lamp at a swap meet, resell it on eBay, capital gains tax. What is the inheritance tax? Inheritance tax is tax you pay when you inherit something from another person. So your grandma dies and you inherit a car, you pay inheritance tax on that. So these are all different types of taxes. What you need to know, and what I've been on top of, and I'm going to stay on top of it, is that the president has not said which tax instrument, which rate, for who, and when, with any specificity. That's a problem. The fact that he has not said anything with specificity is causing Wall Street to guess. And Wall Street doesn't like to guess. Wall Street likes to gauge risk. Middle America likes to gauge risk. And business owners, middle-class people, who work very hard to make a penny, are trying to gauge the risk, and they can't. And ultimately, when you can't gauge risk, that could impact stuff. So we've seen a lot of uncertainty since Thursday about all these taxes. And ultimately, uncertainty will continue, and people may continue to be unable to gauge the risk until we have the clarity. But as soon as we do, I will deliver that to you as well. Meantime, what happened as well over the weekend? Well, Bernie Sanders has another provision that he wants to tax. I'm not going over that because I don't think it's going to see light of day. He also wants to come back with the minimum wage. I don't think that's going to slide into the fourth stimulus. I don't think that's going to have time of day. Ron Wyden's $6,000, I think that could slide into the fourth stimulus package. Ron Wyden wants to pay $250 a week over 6 months if you are impacted because of the pandemic, impacted because of your work. It's not a pandemic. I almost misspoke. It's not a pandemic provision. Here's what's going on. In September, PUA, FPUC, PEUC are all expiring. Along with that, student loan debt forgiveness and along with that, eviction moratorium and mortgage forbearance. So Wyden has stepped in and introduced the Senate a standalone bill that would provide PUA people money as often as they need every year going forward, up to $6,000. Could that slide into the fourth stimulus? Yes, I think it could. Remember, the fourth stimulus package, when it lands in the Senate, does what's called a vote-a-rama. It's a 2-day event at which people like a Bernie Sanders have had ideas, and they try to introduce their ideas as an amendment to the bill. Ultimately, it depends on what one thinks could get passed. But I don't think certain things will pass, but other things I think will pass. I think Ron Wyden, if he does want to slide his provision into fourth stimulus, it will pass. I don't think minimum wage will. I don't think Bernie Sanders' other tax thing, which I'm not even covering, will get in there. I don't think Elizabeth Warren's wealth tax will get in there either. There is a potential that Elizabeth Warren's $200 of SSI could get in there. But that vote-a-rama is a 2-day event, and that's coming in July or late June. Really exciting, great news. And I'm so excited you have joined me this morning. Are you going to stay with me? Because we have that exciting details coming up at noontime. The excitement continues at noontime in 2 hours from now. And then we go into afternoons LALATE at 4 p.m., a new show every 2 hours. I hope you join me. There's going to be breaking details across the board today. And then we go into our big late night programming schedule. Afternoons goes into prime time at 6 p.m., then evenings LALATE at 8 p.m., and then LA late night, 10 o'clock in the evening. And we have a full room in the chat right now. I see Shirley, and I see Christy, I see Pamela, and I see Francine. And there is Sandy. Give Sandy some likes. He's trying to get those likes up. So give Queen Sandy some likes. We're currently at, I can't see how many likes we have. She says 316 likes. So get those likes up. Let's try to do, wow, there's nearly 1,000 people in the room right now. So hit that like button. Sandy's asking for those likes. Good morning. There's Jerry and there's Jenny and there's Melissa and there's Paula American Patriot, and Shirley and Gail and Diane and Francine and Liza, 2 Lizas. And there's John, and there is Crystal, 2 Crystals, and another Pamela, and there's David. How are you, David? And there's a perfect dork. That's the screen name. I didn't make it up. Not trying to be shady here. There's Jeannie Rogers, and there's Anne, and there's Chris, and there's another Chris. It's a full room today. Hope everyone is having a beautiful morning. And with that, as we go into a new morning across the board, there's so much great stuff happening. We have a big day of exciting details where we have that mask mandate about to be lifted across the country for outdoor spaces. We have big developing details about the Shuttered grant going live. We have real big anticipation about that Wednesday press conference from the president. We have the anticipation of corporate earnings that would signal whether this economy is rebounding fully. I'll have more about those corporate earnings later today. And then we have all the anticipation of the Federal Reserve speaking about whether it's going to continue to support stimulus or not. It's a big morning. I'm so excited you have joined me. And with that, I look forward to seeing you in 2 hours from now. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, so make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video, and if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with Ally for more.